Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to be reading you some Reddit stories. I will link the stories in the description box. Crying girl in our cabin. Previously, I've shared a story about a ghost of a little girl that was humming in my room when I was 18. I'll go ahead and share another ghost story that happened just last year while me, my husband, and family were on vacation. My family rented a cabin in Helen, Georgia, which was 3 stories tall and was pretty much right in the center of town. We stayed for a week, and about 3 days in our stay, weird things started to happen. My aunt and grandma, who stayed on the 2nd floor, along with my mom and dad, who had their own room, started hearing things. They said they heard a little girl crying at night. I didn't pay much attention to it. My aunt and grandma are pretty jumpy when it comes to staying in new places. I thought that they just heard a TV going because there was a TV in each of our rooms. 4 days into the trip, my aunt and mom are sitting on the couch and they hear a girl say in a very distressed and breathy voice, "Mama." My mom yelled for me. I was out on the porch of the cabin and asked if I hollered for her, which of course I didn't. Now my mom, grandma, and aunt were all scared. They were afraid to be left alone in any part of the cabin by themselves. I tried not to pay attention to it because we were on vacation. I wanted to have a good time hanging out at the cabin and wanted to have a good night's sleep. LOL. So thinking about ghosts just wasn't on my mind. Until that night, my husband and I had the top room of the cabin. We turned off the TV and went to sleep after a long day of walking around town. I woke up out of a dead sleep and I started hearing a girl cry. Small moaning sobs. I went real quiet, stopped breathing to hear if it was just my mind or my ears playing tricks on me, because I'm thinking it might be one of my family members' TVs playing. Nothing. The sounds were definitely coming from inside the room. I went back in my mind about 6 years ago to when the ghost of a little girl started humming in my room, and the fear and panic of that experience flew over me again. I grabbed the smart TV's remote and turned it to some cartoon or movie and turned up the volume, like it was pretty loud. My husband turned over to complain how loud it was and asked me to turn it off. Absolutely not. I'm not turning it down or off. He got agitated and asked me why did I have it so loud. I told him I would explain in the morning. The sobs eventually died out over the sounds of the TV. The next day I told my husband what happened and told him we have only 2 nights left, that I'm going to leave the TV on loud, so just get ready for it. I was afraid to hear the little girl cry again. To be honest, I was so upset about it, I was ready to just up and go home. So the next night passes and the TV was kept on and loud. Nothing that night except mine and my husband's ears hurting and a sleepless night. The last night was a doozy. I was so tired that I went straight to sleep and left my husband watching TV. But I asked him to please, before he went to sleep, to start a movie or whatever and keep the volume up. He promised and I went to sleep. Then I woke up again out of a deep sleep to the sound of how quiet it was, and the panic shot through me. The TV wasn't on, and I can't swear on the Bible, but I think I could hear the little girl crying again. I looked at the TV, and it had on the black screen something to do with playback issues. It was a smart TV with the Roku, so I was doing everything I could. The remote buttons wouldn't work, and I was freaking out. Like it wouldn't let me move out of the error screen, so I somehow had to restart the TV to get it back on and actually play something. After fiddling around with it for more than I would care to, it actually started up and let me scroll to a movie to play, and once again the volume was turned up. I think whatever was in the cabin had something to do with trying to stop the TV playing. I was happy this was our last night in the cabin. I will never stay in Helen, Georgia ever again. Ghost experience that happened and I'm completely stunned. Please share your thoughts. This just happened and I'm not entirely sure how to feel or what to think. I've had a few strange, bizarre experiences before and seen one ghost very clearly in 2008. I'm not fazed by much. These experiences are very rare and I barely think of them. I feel very comfortable in my home and have lived here for 1.5 years now. I live in a large studio, don't own any pets. The bedroom area directly connects to the front door, hallway, and bathroom. I've spent the day relaxing and seeing family, then lay down in bed just reading articles online, watching TV. I just got up to walk down the hallway, 2.5 meters total length. As I turned into the hallway, I very clearly saw and felt a cat walking alongside the skirting board, which I nearly tripped on. I gasped and shook immediately. Still have goosebumps and trying to get my heart rate down. It took me a few seconds to realize this was a ghost. I've never heard of an animal ghost before. Has anyone had any experience like this? It honestly nearly tripped me up. It took a few minutes to get my breath back. I also went pale. I grew up with 2 silver cats, who would be dead now, but this didn't feel like one of those cats. I also live directly next to a vet, so now I'm thinking maybe a cat passed on that vet office and is lingering now in my apartment building. I honestly don't know what to think. I'm not scared, but it gave me the shock of a lifetime. Trying to get my balance. Any ideas what this is? Nothing much is coming up on Google. Thanks. This just happened. My wife sent me a text to come in the room because she was so freaked out to yell out for me while she was putting our baby to sleep. We have a TV in the room that's not too old, but doesn't have the voice option on our remote. She was watching Grey's Anatomy, and I didn't hear it at first. It sounded like someone was talking outside of our window, and I listened closer. I can hear a deep voice coming from the TV. As I sat there, I can hear the TV talking, but as I watched the subtitles, I can tell it was entirely different conversation going on. She keeps the volume fairly low and the subtitles on. I grabbed the remote control to turn up the volume, and the deep voice said, "Good to see you. You look exactly the same," in a dark manner. Then my older son approached the room, and as I was trying to rationalize what's going on. So in panic, I shut it off because he is only 8 and had a couple scares already that freaked me out a while ago. Just want to know your guys' thought, and if it happens again, I'm going to record. Sorry in advance for my grammar and punctuation, but this happens literally 2 minutes ago, so I'm kind of freaked out. The day I met Mother Christmas. Hello everyone. New here, but my friend really thought you'd like what happened to me. Sorry for spelling, I'm French. I was about 20 years old and it was my first alone apartment. I lived with other people before, but this time I was alone. It was a 1-room, 1-bathroom apartment inside a 3-unit small building. Itself was located behind another apartment building that stood between us and the street, important to the story. I was on my couch gaming when I heard the door rattle behind me. I didn't expect any visitor, so I open it with curiosity, and I see a woman in her 70s dressed in a red winter coat with white fur. She looked like Mother Christmas in the flesh. Now this isn't unusual, albeit a bit shocking, but still. When I asked, hi, what are you doing here? She said, well, this is my place. Where is Santa Claus? Without warning, she pushed me aside, came inside, and started patting the wall. I asked her, excuse me, what are you doing? She looked at me straight in the eyes and answered in the most mentally stable way possible. I'm looking for the secret passage. I have to go meet Santa Claus. Where is he? Confused, face from me, she takes off and goes in my bathroom. Standing in the bathtub, she starts patting the wall next to it, mumbling something about Santa again. I decide to call the police. They come over very quick, but as soon as she heard me talking to them, she bolted off saying Santa isn't here anyway. Police found her in a patio pit in the apartment across from mine. She fell there. They don't know who she was, but they were investigating. Got a visit from Mother Christmas in my first ever apartment that scared me for life and made me paranoid. Thank you for listening. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking my channel, and I will see you on the next one.